Okay, for starters, I just want to go over some stuff in reference to VOIP applications and interfaces, but not so much the theory, so much to being able to set up something in reference to this diagram that we're using. Just want to kind of bring this down a little bit. Alright, now you can actually see this is the actual diagram that I want to set up for the VOIP phones. And I want to relate this to a simulator that we're going to be using called Packet Tracer. As you can see here, we have the VOIP phones, we have the PPX box, the router, the switches going back to the workstation, the printer, and up through the cloud, through the internet. You can set the same thing up through Packet Tracer. This is Packet Tracer, by the way. Cisco Packet Tracer, the student version. I'm going to be doing the same thing in this simulator to work towards our goal in setting up this topology. So, we pulled out a phone from here. We look at the end devices over here, and we can actually pull out another phone. So the end device is over here. So let's just pull out another phone. So they want to pull out 4 phones here. Actually 3 phones. And you want to pull out another phone over here. And how much other phones do we have here? We just have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. We need to pull out a cloud. So let's just try to open this up here. Let's see what we have. Actually, we need a router. Let's use one of these routers here. And we need a cloud. And the cloud's over here somewhere, so put a generic cloud. And we need a box here, an IPX box that goes to this thing. So let's see, can we use an end device? Get the end of your phone. What device can we use as that IP PPX box? That's what we need to figure out. So that's a wireless device, IP PPX box. I just want to get some information about that. Is that a wireless box, or let's just find out. IP PPX box. Well, we actually had okay, let's go over here. So this is where it originated from. And are they talking about IP? Okay, an analog to digital voice conversion device called a digital PPX, or commonly an IP PPX box. In general, IP PPX is a private switch that accepts and interprets both analog and digital switches. So that's really like a switch, a private switch that accepts, interprets both analog and digital voice signals. Thus, it can connect with both PSTN lines and data. So let's go back to the Packet Tracer and see if we can find that switch. So that's a switch. Let's see if that switch is here somewhere. Alright, bridge, that's a bridge. A 24 switch. This is a standard switch. I would think it's going to be a multi-port switch. Okay, so the original diagram here, so we have this going to here, this going to there, so we can actually start. What else do we have? We have a regular switch, so we can bring a regular generic switch over here. We can actually bring out a workstation, right? And we can bring out a printer. We have a printer here. Generic workstation. Let's see, we have a printer and end devices here. IP phone, wireless device, printer. Let's see. I know we have a printer for these generic devices. IP phone, TV, wireless device. Smart TV, generic, shuffle. What's over here? That's wireless. What's these over here? It's generic. Smart device. Okay. Well, you know what we're gonna do? I mean, most printers are smart devices. Let's just bring this. Well, actually, no, we want to bring that up there. I'm surprised this doesn't have a printer in here. I know it does. Just keep looking. Smart device, generic wireless. Generic wireless. Multi-user, coax. This is switches. This is all routers. I am so surprised it doesn't have a printer. Let me just bring this out so I can see. I get a full view here. I want to see a full view of what's going on. Generic. VOIP device. Phone, TV, wireless. Smart, generic wireless. Alright, so what can we use as a complement here? Why don't we just use, let's just say this here is a printer. Okay? Because it says generic. So we're going to use that as a printer. And we're going to go back to our original diagram. And we're going to try to make sure that we have everything in place. Okay, so we have the 3 IP phones, the PBX box. So now we're going to actually try to connect these together, as opposed to what we had before. Let's just put this side by side, and then we'll be able to connect that together. All right, so now, so we want to get the cloud to the router. We don't have a port to that. So we got that to that. But actually, this is a serial interface. So we need to make sure that we have serial interfaces in this configuration. This is what's nice about Packet Tracer. You can shut the interface down. And the interface is shut down. And then you can actually put a module in here that will give you that WIC so that when you shut the interface back on again, this is powering up. See, the interface is powering it back on again. It actually put the interfaces in there that you're going to need to set up for your serial interface for here. See that? Okay, so now when we go here, back here, and we come here, cable connected to this port, we want to make sure that we can connect a serial interface from here. So let's just look at what serial interfaces we have. We have here, look at that, just like I said, boom, just like that. So you got that first one. Then you have the router going to the PBX box. So you want to get a cable, standard cable, fast Ethernet going to here. Okay, you got that going to there. And then you have this here going to your IP phones. Each one of the IP phones as you can see, I'm coming off of the IP phones. So that's the PBX box going off of the IP phone so far. We can close this. So what else we got? We got that going there. And we have another PBX box, right? So we had 2 PBX boxes according to this. And did I bring out another PBX box here? That was a switch. So we're going to bring out another switch. So we'll bring out another PBX box here according to this. And we need to have the router go into another PBX box. So we're going to come over here. Hold on. And we need to come to the router down to the PBX box. So So we need to get a cable for this, and we're going to get a cable from the router. Fast Ethernet going to the PBX box here. Okay, go back to the original diagram. So we got the router going to the PBX box. The PBX box is going to a switch, right? So we come here. I'm going to a switch. Now this thing about this switch is, the switch doesn't have that many ports in it. So I'm going to change that switch, because we don't really want that switch here. We're going to put a switch that we have more ports on. So let's get a switch, another switch here. Matter of fact, let's get a 2960 switch. But I think that switch has a lot more ports. Okay, so now we have that there. And going back to the original diagram, with the switch going to the PBX box, we can actually go back in now and see how more ports. We can come back over here and come here like that. Perfect. Okay, so that's going to there. What else do we have here? We had another IP phone. The switch goes to the IP phone, so we have to go. Switch goes to an IP phone, right? And we have the switch also going to a printer. We said this is the printer right here. So we can probably go like this, and then this. It's a printer. And then we have a workstation. Okay. So far it looks like this. Let's just bring it up a little bit. So the switch is going to the workstation. Alright, so does this look pretty close or what? What do you think? I think it looks pretty close. Look. So you have the three IP phones, IP box, your router going up to your cloud, your internet, going back here to the switch. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Back to the switch. To the IP phone. To the printer, generic, to the workstation, and then we could just make a little notation that we're accessing, according to the diagram, accessing the VOIP. Yes, so that we can have a general view of what's actually being done here. So this is going to be the packet tracing model for this. Okay, and we just did the packet tracing model for this, and we're going to call this. We'll copy this, and we'll actually save this as accessing the VOIP network from an IP phone. We'll call that the same network. So we just save this network. Alright, so we're going to be able to see how we can configure this network now. And just wanted to show you how to bring the devices out to get this configured. This is going to be part 1. So we'll start part 2 in a little bit. Okay, this is Greg Sykes signing out. And we'll get back with you with part 2 in just a bit. Thanks.